Good evening to you and welcome to our Facebook Live this evening. It is Tuesday, the 21st of September. Thank you for joining me. My name is Jenny McCormack and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm based in Brackley, which is a smallish market town in Northamptonshire in the UK. Just going to move that out of the reflection a little bit. So let us see whether we have live on my phone. There's always a chance we have, but let us see. So I can't believe we're at Tuesday night already. I have to say that I've had an absolute whirlwind of a day today. I've had two lots of bad news. I've just seen my son off to the airport. He's meeting up with his twin sister, Jo. Hi, Carol. Tonight. It's their birthday tomorrow. So they're spending it together, although they've got a busy day because Jo's actually showing at the Balmoral show over in Northern Ireland. So she'll have him up early to sort out the horses. Anyway, so this was the paper pumpkin kit that I opened. I opened yesterday. It was only yesterday. It feels like a lifetime ago, I have to say. Let me show you the cards that we made. So these are taken more or less from the kit. I did do slightly different thing with the bow on one of the cards, but other than that I've taken the cards really as the kit intended, and that's absolutely what it's there for. So if you need to make some quick and easy cards, then one of our kits is the perfect way to do that. It's also a great way if you're a beginner to get into some simple stamping and some card making where all of the items are provided for you, including the glue. The only item you would need to add to this particular kit is actually an acrylic block or a block of some kind that you could mount the stamp onto. So this is typically, although you can't really see it because it's a see-through, but if I just put it on an angle, this is a typical acrylic block. So the reason why they're not included in this particular paper pumpkin kit is that this kit is normally available in America and Canada on a subscription basis. So you wouldn't want to receive an extra block in every single month's subscription box. So for paper pumpkin they have been excluded. It keeps the weight of the box down and therefore also the cost of the box down. But if you are a brand new beginner and you buy a paper pumpkin kit from me, then I will ensure that you are sorted out with a block. If you buy any of our other standard kits, they do include the block in the kit itself. So we have this card here on this evening evergreen background. I have stamped some of the flowers and things on the inside, and that says thanks for everything, and you get this thanks in English, French and German. We then have this one here with this pink and purple background. This says you are amazing, and even the sequins are included as well as the ink spots for this. So this has two different colours included, evening evergreen and bumblebee. And then this card here, sending hugs. This is on a bumblebee colour base, and all of these die cuts are included, and a little bit of twine, and that's just been mounted on this really pretty layer of vellum onto the card. And all of the cards have a white inside. I've chosen to stamp them I do love this little circle stamp with the dots, but you could leave that plain inside, or you could stamp an additional sentiment. So this kit comes with a stamp set, and if I find a piece of paper just to pop behind it so you can see it a bit better. It has sending hugs, congratulations, you're amazing, has this beautiful ink design, thanks for everything. We've got these pretty flowers, more flowers, and here, and then the little word many, so you could do many congratulations, many thanks. Okay, so my plan for today is to do something slightly different with the components from the kit. Now, normally I would say if you're a beginner crafter, just make the cards up as per the kit. But I thought I'd challenge myself to do something completely different. I have to say, I have absolutely no idea where I'm going to go with this. And I will introduce some other items, maybe other colours, or maybe note cards, and cut up some of the elements. So let us start with, I'm actually going to start with this piece here. And maybe, oops, this one I've finished with. Maybe I will introduce some of these pieces. So I'm actually going to use the stamp sets on here. So I have the glue dots, I still have these elements here that I can use, and obviously the stamp set itself. So what I'm thinking is I might stamp the sentiment straight onto here and add a layer of cards behind. So let me just dig out that evening evergreen layer and grab some of our note cards and envelopes. So I hope you've had a good day. Hope you've had a good day, Carol. So there we go. So this is the same size as our note cards and envelope. But what I'm going to do is cut down part of this and layer it onto the white. Just for something slightly different. So I'm just going to grab my trimmer. And get cracking. Okay, so the finished note card is 3.5 inches by 5. So I'm going to cut this down initially to 3.25 inches. So I've got basically a centimetre or 1/4 of an inch different. So I'll have that little border around it. Let's have a look and see. So this is my note card. So this is basic white. I'm going to grab some of that. Hi Carol. Morning with daughter. Oh yes, down to school. Aces to the park. Slept this afternoon. I'm not surprised. Your poor daughter. What a nightmare. And what a time to break her leg. Okay, so I'm going to cut this down for another small layer. So again, I'm going to take off basically 1/4 of an inch. So if you don't like measuring, you can start your pieces of card the same size and then just use this guide on the right hand side. Appreciate you can't really see it, but if you wanted a centimetre border, you would just move this piece up to the centimetre. So instead of trying to measure here accurately, all you need to know is either 1 centimetre or half a centimetre, or quarter or half an inch. So I'm going to do this one 1/4 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch here. So this is our own paper trimmer, which I highly recommend. Mine gets rather a beating one way and another. Okay, so I've got this layered onto there and this layered onto here, so it makes it look quite different when you've got an additional layer in there. And I think what I'm going to do is maybe, I don't know if I want the same colour or a contrasting colour, but I'll start with this first. I'm going to pull this out of its sheet and then cut this element up. Obviously it's too big for this small piece, but I was thinking cutting it in the centre into 3 different pieces. And layering it on almost like a bunch of flowers. Now that definitely is too close, isn't it? You're just not going to see that. So I think the pink is rather nice. So I might use a bit of pink and a little bit of green as well. So all I'm going to do is just take a pair of paper snips, trim this in the middle. I'm just going to tidy this up because on the actual sample this is hidden in the middle here. It's hidden in there. Okay, so I've got that, and maybe then a little bit of the green. I might switch out and have some of the purpley one, like so. Let's have a look and see if that would be better, because that green is quite just snip this out here. It's rather well camouflaged, doesn't it, because it is the same colour. So just going to pull this out of here, like so. Yes, I think that would be better. Something like that. And then I'm going to put a little bow on top. I might pick out a different colour bow for that. And then I'm going to add a sentiment stamp straight onto here. And I could use Evening Evergreen, but I do know that my Evening Evergreen stamp pad is at the bottom of my bag. So I would probably, I might use a bit of, I might just use Early Espresso if I've got one to hand, which I have. Okay, so let us choose a sentiment from the stamp set, which is now eluding me. Here it is. So I've got "You are amazing," or I've got "Thanks." I want something fairly bold across the bottom. I could use one of these strips. So that is almost the width of that. So I feel that is too big, but there are some smaller ones. I can find them. this one here. I could do thanks for everything. Bear with me, might have a little hunt. There they are. I knew they wouldn't be far away as I only used it yesterday. There we go. So, I'm going to tidy this little piece up as well. Just going to snip that off. Okay, so let's do a thanks. I haven't actually used this thanks. Grab a small piece of paper. Oh, now that's given me an idea. That might look quite nice. So this word stamp is from our meadows. That might be quite nice on either side. So see how easy it is to get sidetracked these days. Okay, let me have a look. So Early Espresso ink pad and Quiet Meadow is the stamp set. Which I can't now find. Oh, how crazy. I might have to skip that plan. I've really got anything similar that I want to use. Okay, let's revert to plan A then. I better go and hunt for that. But that would have been, because that would have been really nice. Around the edges, just to soften this, because it's got some text, which is, you know, like old typeface. Hi Tracy, thanks for joining us. So I better start looking for that Quiet Meadow. Not sure what I've done with that. Okay, so I've got thanks. That's a really nice thanks. So I'm going to stamp this on here slightly high. Try not to get myself covered in ink. Like so. And actually my For Everything could go straight onto here as well, couldn't it? Could be sort of part and parcel of that. So let's do that, just as something different. So take that one off and then just ink this up. Yeah, I like that. So take my glasses off though, see where I'm stamping. Okay, so there I've got, let me just lift it up so you can see. Thanks for everything. So this is going to go onto this piece here, and then that is going to go onto our piece of Whisper White, oh basic white I should say. So let's layer that up, and then I'll add the flowers on. So there we go. Okay, and then that layer onto there. So I'm keeping this, I'm just using our seal, which is our tape on a roll. Just using this here, but you could use your glue of preference. So if you prefer to use a wet glue, like our Tombow, then that would be absolutely fine. Okay, so that says thanks for everything. And then I'm going to arrange these 3 pieces, and actually, strangely enough, the white looks quite nice, doesn't it, as well? So you could, if I didn't want to introduce another colour, or I just wanted to introduce one, you can actually go with the sort of reverse side of that, like so. What do you think? I was going to put a little bow on it. So I'm pretty sure this is polished pink. So let me have a look for a little ribbon to do a bow that will match those. This is polished pink, so this will pick out the pink. Let's have a look and see. Well, I hope everybody's had a good day. Tracy, hope you've had a good day. Cassie wants to come in. I might need to let her in, or else I'll have a scratch door. There we go. Let's just see. So I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller, like so. And let the dog in. And then I'll just put those flowers on there together. Oops. Hello, demanding. There we go. So I'm just going to snip this off. That's 1 and 2. I love this ribbon, it's so nice. Okay, so I think I have these 2 behind like that, and then this one just lifted up on top. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. Now I could use the glue dots that come with the pack. That'd be quite an easy way to do it, but I'm just going to use a few dots of glue instead. Oh, Tracy's been crocheting. She's been making bunting. Very exciting. Okay, so let's pop this one here. This one is going to come over on the right, but also will be stuck down. So I'm just adding literally a dot of glue. Like so. And then I've got this piece here that I'm going to lay on top, but I'm going to use some dimensionals. Now the kit does come with dimensionals. I think I've probably got them here somewhere safe. So safe I can't find them. Let's have a look-see. Yep. Okay, so I'm just going to cut some of these edge pieces and affix them to these larger pieces here. So I must make a note to go and hunt out my Quiet Meadow stamps. I will, to make that smaller, I will check my Meadows dies. That'll give me a better indication where they might be. Because usually what I do is, if I have stamps and dies together, as I sellotape them, I pop a rubber band around them, so that when I pick out the stamp set, the dies, I don't have to go hunt for the dies. However, you can't find the stamp set. It's not a lot of good, is it? Okay, so let's just add this one in. Just going to trim this down. Oh, there it was. Like so. Trim that little edge off there. So I'm looking forward to card class Saturday and Tuesday of next week. There we go. That will do. I haven't put a dimensional on every single piece, but the majority of the edges, at least, to give it some support. So the weather here has been glorious today, better than expected, I have to say, although it's just about dark out there now. Okay. So I'm going to sit that on top like so, and then my bow can go across the sort of junction of all of them. And I've got some of these small glue dots from the kit. Decide which side of that bow I like. So I have added this ribbon and the white note card, but just to really give you some other ideas with the kit. So I have I think I've now sold out of the paper. I might actually have one of the paper pumpkin left, but the replenishments are due this week, all being well. Okay, just going to trim this down. There we go. So we've got thanks for everything. And in fact, although that is in early espresso, it's taken on the backing, so it really does look quite green, almost an evening evergreen on there. And I think, of course, I'm going to stamp on the inside of that. And what I'm thinking is to use this ink stamp with soft sea foam, which is a very light version of this ink here. So let's have a look. Just want to sort of recreate that look on the inside. So popping that on there. Let me just grab soft sea foam ink. So it's quite a bit lighter, but I don't want it to overpower the inside. So I'm just going to ink this up and try it and see what it looks like. Yes. Actually, mint macaron might be better. Find it. I think I've extracted that as well. Okay. This is soft succulent. Let's try that and see. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp it again. I think it'll be close enough. Like so. So this adds some of the shading. I appreciate you can't see that's right underneath my fingers at the moment. So this adds some of this beautiful shading from the stamp. Okay, so it's reflecting this here. And then I'm going to add some of the flowers. So I could do this little spray here, but I think what I might do is just this little flower. I've got a small block for this, and I'm going to pick that up in early espresso and just stamp this across here. So 1, 2 and 3, like so. Okay, and obviously I would add that to my envelope as well. Let me grab a note card envelope.
So the intention of the Chelsea Garden is to create this shared green space and even
Let's have a look. Actually, it should be the same size as the one in the pack, shouldn't it? She says. It is, I think. You just make sure it goes in before I stamp it, which it does. So I'm going to add this across here. I think I'm going to do this slightly lighter. So I'm going to do this in soft seafoam, as it's for the envelope. Mint macaron would be a good halfway house, to be honest. So just going to stamp this. I kept the envelope open deliberately. How fabulous is that stamp? If you like the idea of blending inks, then this stamp set gets you the same effect, as you can see, but without using alcohol inks or alcohol to create that blended look. Okay, and I think I might just put those little flowers on there as well, but I'm going to stamp these just the same colour. 2 and 4. There we go. So that's the back of the envelope. Cute. Okay, and so there is our first card. So I've used a combination of the pieces from here, the background from here, and also this piece of card here. So this would now make effectively 2 cards from those components. I've used the envelope, but I could use our other envelopes, and the only thing that's missing is adding some of those lovely sequins, if they are still here in the pack. They might have gone walkabout. Oops. Because I knew they weren't far away. Okay, let's just add these, just using my piercing tool to pick some of these up and dot them around. 1, 2, and 3, like so. So there we go. Oh, a finished card. And a daddy long legs. There we go. Okay, let's do another one. And I want to use this card, and I want to be able to use this lovely design here. So let me grab the card. So, and then what I might do is pick out the thanks, or I could pick out merci or danke. So you do get all 3 languages for your thanks. Like so. Now I tell you what would also be nice for this would be some white embossed flowers on here. If I use this stamp here with some heat embossing. But the idea I've got for this one, as it stands, let me just turn this over so I don't add any ink to the inside of my card, is I'm going to use this ink stamp and take it straight across the middle. And I think what I'm going to do is use the same ink colour as the card, so we get a tone on tone version. So this is Bumblebee, and as luck would have it, there is my Bumblebee ink pad. Now what I'm going to do is stamp onto this card to see if it works. If it doesn't work the way that I'm hoping it will, then I will cover this up with something else. but I'm hoping, all being well, that it will work. I do have a very noisy dog though. Okay, now I can see that this is way too inky to start with, so I'm just going to move some of this ink out of the way. If I can find my bone folder that was right in front of me a minute ago. Here it is. So I'm going to take my bumblebee ink and just on one side move the ink down, or I mean you could just move it this way to one side if you want. Now the ink will resettle, okay, but it means that I haven't got as much ink on that element of the ink pad. Need to leave that somewhere I know to wipe it down. Now I'm going to ink this again, and you'll see the difference between the two there. So apart from obviously being slightly lighter, there's more definition and detail, whereas here it's sort of blended in. I don't know if you can see that, it's quite difficult to see maybe. So I'm happy with that. With our distinctive photopolymer stamps, it doesn't really work to stamp off and then stamp again, because all of the detail is held in the stamp, and if you stamp off, there's not enough ink on there to give you the detail when you stamp the second time. Okay, because that's what you would normally do if it was too dark. So I'm just going to take the ink from the lighter portion. I wonder if you can see that on the, yes, you can see that on the camera. Okay, so I'm just going to come straight across the middle. And now I know it will lose some of its definition because we are on the same colour card. I think I'm going to make it quite wide. This would make a great cloud design. I'm going to turn this round so it's slightly different. So there we go. Like that. If you can see that. It's not as clear for you as it is for me in person, I have to say. So could be, if I did that again, I wonder if I did it with early espresso to make it really stand out. I'm tempted, but I could try that on another piece of bumblebee card, couldn't I? Because what I want to do is put this piece on top as a contrast. Having said that, doesn't really stand out like I want it to, so let's be brave and let's try early espresso, and I'm actually going to try it on top just to see. Now I know this one is quite light. Perfect. There we go. Sorry, Cassie. So I'm just overlapping this. I knew that was a mistake to shut the door. think you could have great fun with this stamp, and this kit matches our Expressions in Ink suite, which has papers which feature this lovely type of design. So if you want to see those, I can show you those at the end. Okay, that's better. I'm happier with that. I wanted a real contrast because I want my thanks to stand out on top of it, if that makes sense. So there's no flowers in here whatsoever. So I'm going to do thanks, and let's have a look, see. I think I might do thanks for everything again and add this down here. I think we should all be very grateful for so many things in this world, and so many people for the things that they do, that we should be sending out thank you cards or just saying thank you much more often than many of us do. Okay, so I'm just going to bring my for everything into there. And so I just want that to sort of link in together, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to, I wonder if I might, no, I'm not putting any flowers on there. I've decided. So I'm going to add some glue dots to the reverse of this vellum. You could colour this vellum in. I'm not going to because I want the white as a contrast, but you could colour the vellum in on the reverse with a blends pen or a Stampin' Write marker pen. But I want to keep this white as a contrast. So here are our glue dots from the kit. Just going to pop these on, and just looking for the wider areas of white on there. There we go. Put one more in. There we go. So I wonder if anybody, I know Tracy has been crocheting, and I know Lynn has been crocheting today, but I wonder if anybody else has been card making or crafting. If you have, let us know what you've been up to. This is a great masculine card. You could make a good birthday card out of this. There we go. And I just want to position this fairly close to my for everything. Does that look fairly straight? It does. This would be a good one actually to send to my brother. Just going to use the edge of the block on the back of the card, just in case there's any ink on it, because I know my bone folder has got ink on it. And let's add some little bits of glitter onto that as well, glittery sequins. So these very much take on the colour of what's underneath them. They're sort of translucent. So I've got 1, 2 and 3, and they've got a little hint of colour in. Oh, that's the same height as that. That's not what I want. Lift it off. Put it down there. There we go. So there's our second card. And I think what I will do for this, rather like I've done on this one, is I'm going to do the bumblebee on the inside, and then I think you'll see how well that stamps. You'll see a bit more of the detail because it's on white. I do really need to clear this off, clean this off, but not quite prepared tonight, so I do apologise. It's just been one of those days. Okay, so here we go in the lighter colour of the bumblebee. There we go. What's I've got in the front? Thanks for everything. I'm going to put that across the middle, but I'm going to put it across the bottom. And you'll see what I mean about it being a good cloud formation. So I'm just turning it round, overlapping it, angling it, just to get that different look. Oh, hi Kate. Thank you so much. It was lovely to see you crafting this morning. There we go. So I've got that element here across the bottom just to coordinate with that element on there. And let me see, that's just approaching 8 o'clock. I wonder if I might do one more. An idea just went through my mind and went out the other side, I have to say. So let's have a go with this. I think what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to colour in the reverse of this piece here just quickly. Now, just to try it out, I'm going to colour on the back of this piece here. So let me see what blends I've got. I've got Purple Posy. Let's try Highland Heather. Just take my glasses off for a minute. And I just want to see. Let me just do this really quickly. I'm not going to do the whole thing, just this. So I want to see what it looks like with the white text. Like so. So that will work. So I'm going to colour the reverse of this set of flowers. I'll be as quick as I can. Let me see, I've got Highland Heather, I've got Dark Fresh Freesia, which is a slightly pinkier version, and I've got some leaves here. So let's do the leaves in my favourite Granny Apple Green. I might need to do that on here. No, not quite sure if I'm just going to colour in the white or the whole thing, if you see what I mean. I'm not sure. So let's just start by colouring in the white. So that's those two bits there. I've got another leaf here. Take this slightly darker actually. One's rather well used on that side. So sometimes with the blends pens, if you've used one nib a lot, it can break the nib down a little bit, but there's still ink in there. So always just try the other nib before you discard it. I tend to use this bullet tip more than my the brush tip, only because I tend to be doing small areas, to be honest. Okay, let's have a look at that. There we go. So I've got some other leaves here, so I'm going to do those in a different green. I'll do those in Mossy Meadow, and that's these ones here. Let's go dark. So thank you for putting up with me, those that have stayed the course. See how that looks. Yeah, that's okay. There's one here. One. And then there's this one here. Okay, those ones I'm going to leave. So I've got these two sort of roses, this large one and this one here. So I'm going to use a combination of colours for those. So this is dark fresh freesia. I use that for this rose at the top. I know you can't see the detail of this because I'm working quite close up. But hopefully this will all look good. So I'm just colouring in the areas between the white lines, but on the reverse of the piece. There we go. This is where we need a gorgeous grape blends pen, in my opinion. Okay. So this, as I say, this paper pumpkin kit you can do exactly as is, but hopefully this will give you some other ideas. The kit itself is £20 and it is available while stocks last because they ship in a quantity of kits and then that is it. So if you do like it, I would recommend not leaving it too long. So there's that one, and I might do these as dark a colour as I can get. Now I can go back and add colour to any of these, obviously. Let's just freesia, put those away. And Highland Heather. And let's see. Got Blackberry Bliss or Rich Raspberry for these sort of little roses. So there we go. So it looks a bit like parchment craft, without having to do the parchment or pergamano. Just using the printed vellum as the guide. Okay, there's another little one in here. Might actually help if I put it on some dark card, really. There we go. So this is the back. So I've just got this one here, and those other bits I'm going to leave. And I really want to keep it within the pinks, so let's try Blackberry Bliss, or I could go polished pink. Oh, a leaping daddy long legs who rather likes my lights. Okay, just going to do this bit really quickly. So it's not particularly pretty from the back, but it doesn't have to be. Nobody else is going to see it. Obviously, you could take your time doing this. You could colour it from the front, but I feel that way, if you've gone over any of the lines, it really does show. Whereas here, if you go over the lines, it's not quite as obvious. So I'm just checking my volume level. So is anybody still there? Oh yes, you are. Thank you. I don't usually go on quite this long. Okay. I think I did hurry it last week, didn't I, because I had a Facebook Live. So I'm making not a Facebook Live, a team meeting. So I brought the session earlier last week and hurried it along. So I'm making up for it now. There we go. So do let me know whether you prefer the original cards or one of my revamped versions. I won't be offended if you don't. There we go. Just do that one in there. There we go. Let's have a look and see. There we are. I'm happy with that. So I am going to put what was this, Blackberry Bliss in the centre, I think, for those dots. Just so there's a little bit of a contrast. Oh, hi Brenda. Tracy's here. Thank you, Tracy. Hi Brenda, I hope you're well. So this, Brenda, is the paper pumpkin kit that's just been released. Come on, out of the way. And these are my alternative cards. Got a suicidal daddy long legs here. Let me just remove him and shut the door. Oh, there's another one. Or it's the one that he's back. Got away. Okay, I'll be quick. Okay, so there's our panel. Yes, I've done that now. Okay, so I'm just going to decide what to do with my panel I just coloured in. Obviously, it feels rather wasted on there, but I could put it on here. That really makes that, picks those colours up, doesn't it? So what I'm going to do is I could cut this panel down, or I could just lay it onto a piece of, because this is fresh freesia, I might just layer it onto a piece of fresh freesia card to save that other card for later. Let me just grab that from my pinks. Or not. Lots of polished pink, funnily enough. Okay. So let's see, I'm not quite sure which way around this is going to go. So I could do that, and I really want to use this again. So let's grab fresh freesia, and I promise this will be the last card. Just clean this off. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is deliberate for a minute. So I might do my stamp all the way around like a border. I'm leaving my card closed, and I'm just angling this up. Now this is another ink pad that's quite inky, so I probably would scrape some of the ink. I'm going to leave it now I've started anyway, and by actually inking up in the same place. This is fabulous stamp. So the set that matches this is actually going to be one of the stamp sets and dies for my class. It just makes you look really artistic, even if you're not artistic. Okay, so look at that. How stunning. I'm just going to leave that open for a minute. Okay, so there's my card, and see if this got a right way. I could do that all the way over like we have on this card here, but maybe I quite like that little bit of gap here. For you are amazing, and I think I'm actually going to stamp it straight on with the darker ink so it really stands out. Could use one of the die cuts, sure, but those have got evening evergreen, these ones anyway, around the edges, and that doesn't tally with the other colours that I've used. So I'm going to stamp You Are Amazing. Just take that off. And Blackberry Bliss is what I want to use, because this will tally in. I know I've only got a little bit in there, but it will tally with that. So let me see how dark I can get with Blackberry Bliss. That's looking good. Yeah. So here we go. So I'm going to bring this in, take this out of the way, because I can move that around, and I want this just overlapping between the dark and the light, like that. Can't remember how I had this now. There we go. There we are. Quite different to this one. So I'm going to add some glue dots behind here and then some sequins. So my only question is, should I cover in a bit more of that, or should I leave that? Decisions. Get the sequins ready. What do you think? Should I colour in a bit more of that with the fresh freesia, so that it's just that bit that is left, or move that over so you see more of it? Any suggestions? Welcome. While we're deliberating on that, I'm going to use that stamp across the bottom, and then we're done. Tracy likes it as is. Thank you, Tracy. Maybe I'll move the flower over so there's more, it's more obvious that it's a border, maybe. So I'm just going to stamp this across the bottom. So Tracy says as is. Brenda says colour it a bit more in here. Let's have a look and see. So you don't really see it behind that. Maybe I will do just across that corner, so it's half and half. How about that? Make sure I've got fresh freesia and not Blackberry Bliss. Just want to fill that little bit in. Let's have a look, see now. This could end up filled in. Ah. Right, let's try that. There we go. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Decisions. Right. Now I want to colour in. Sorry. Apologies, Tracy. So I'm going to leave a little bit there. There we go. I'm going to leave those little patches. Put my finger in the ink pad. and then we'll be done. So I'm going to add these with some glue dots, just using the little ones from the kit, and so you get plenty in there, and just pushing them in areas that are covered up because they've got the white bits behind them. Just lift those off, and then I'm definitely done. So 3 alternatives, and Brenda, I'll show you the originals as well. There we go. Let's move this one out of the way. Quite like that. Like so. And the obligatory sequins, of course. 1, 2, 3. So you want to make a triangle out of that. And I wonder if I might put sequin on those 2 flowers as well. There we go. There we are. So there is our variation on a theme. So I have changed to Fresh Freesia cardstock, stamped all the way over it using the stamp included, took the vellum piece and coloured from the reverse, stuck that down with glue dots, thank you Tracy, and added some sequins. So let me pop that one back to show you the stamp set again in case anybody didn't catch it from earlier on. So we've got flowers, we've got thanks for everything, somewhere on a block, and then you are amazing. You're all amazing, which I can't just see for the minute. Okay, so let me show you a couple of things. So these are the original cards. So we've got that one there, sending hugs. Oops, perhaps I should lift it up. That definitely looks, yes, wonky to me. I can see why it's wonky. So I've got the dimensionals, but they're attached only to the leaves, so it's sort of moving around a little bit. There we go. Hold that for a second. So there's one with the vellum background and the die cuts. There's this one here with the vellum die cut using the base card. I don't know if you can see that vellum underneath there. And then the other original one, as suggested, is this one here. It says thanks for everything. There we go, with the vellum. And then my variations for today, using the stamp set, which is this one here. And the stamp said, "You're amazing." We've got this stamp that I've just used there. Thanks for everything. Got these flowers, 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 and a little circle. Sending hugs, congratulations, and the word many that you can use obviously in conjunction. So this was our first card. which I mounted onto a note card and envelope, and it says thanks for everything, and I've stamped that little corner inside. The second one was this one where I've stamped that going across, so this will make a nice man's card, thanks for everything, and I've added that at the bottom on the inside in coordinating bumblebee. And the one that I've just created there, stamping onto fresh freesia, just using that same stamp as a background, coloured in the back of the vellum and stamped "You are amazing." And then the back of the envelope for this one here, I've just stamped with the stamp and a few little flowers. So there we go, a mammoth session. We got there in the end. I did use a few of my brain cells this evening, so that's always good. I didn't use this vellum, I didn't use this card, so you could still carry on and make a variation on any of those, and you could cut this vellum shape up into separate pieces as well. Oh, now we've got moths joining us. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me this evening, ladies, and if you've been watching on catch up or replay, I really appreciate if you've got this far. 10 out of 10, thank you. And I shall be back tomorrow morning, that's Wednesday the 22nd of September. I shall be here at 10 AM with some more card making for you. So thank you very much indeed. I look forward to catching up with you soon. I hope you've enjoyed the session. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, to share, or to